So students, now let's discuss short answer questions, and they are total 9 in number. And here maximum direct definitions are asked. Fine. So mark them carefully. I will be telling you about the book pages, and collectively these topics are discussed in points to remember. So number your points to remember correctly, and I will be telling you those numbers as well. From wherever you want to write, it is your choice, but the definitions are very clear in the pink boxes. Fine. Your first question is what are reversible changes? So in points to remember, it is your revision point first, and it is the first definition of your chapter, that is book page 7. Okay, so they are asking about what are reversible changes, and here the sentence is starting as like a change is said to be. So a little bit language change can be done, like we can start the answer as those changes are said to be reversible. Fine, those changes are said to be reversible when the opposite change can be brought about by reversing the conditions. Fine. And its second part is which of the two, the vaporization of water and the burning of paper, is a reversible change. So we can write that the vaporization of water is a reversible change. Next question is what are irreversible changes? So it is given again on book page 7. I think it's the second definition, and revision point, that's points to remember number 2. Again you can change a little bit language, that is those changes are said to be irreversible, and then you can write your answer. And its second part is which of the two, the melting of ice and the growth of a plant, is an irreversible change? So we all know the growth of a plant is an irreversible change. Third question is define a periodic change. So on book page 8, very clear and complete definition is given in the pink box, so you can write from there. And second part is rusting a periodic change? No, rusting is not a periodic change. Question 4, define a non-periodic change. It is again given on book page 8, and then its second part is the swinging of a pendulum a non-periodic change? No, it is a periodic change. Then question number 5 is classify the following into desirable and undesirable changes. First is the spoiling of food, it is undesirable. Then the digestion of food, it is desirable. Then C is the rotting of an egg, it is undesirable. And the fourth one is the decay of a dead animal in open air. So generally decay means the decomposition of dead animals. It is basically done by microorganisms, microbes which are present in the environment. So according to that, it is considered as desirable change. Next question is define a physical change. So it is given in I think revision point, the points to remember point 5, and the book page is 9. Fine. And second part is rusting a physical change? No, rusting is a chemical change. Question 7, define a chemical change. So points to remember revision point is 6, and I guess book page is 10. And its second part is the heating of an electric iron is a chemical change? No, it is a physical change. Question 8 is classify the following into physical and chemical changes. So the first one is the melting of ice. It is physical. Second, respiration is chemical. Then cooking of food is chemical. Then fermentation, chemical. E, the evaporation of a liquid is physical. Then the sublimation of iodine is physical. Then G, the dissolving of a solid is a physical. Then H is the burning of coal is chemical. then the glowing of a bulb is physical, then the freezing of water is physical, then curdling of milk is chemical, then photosynthesis is chemical, then M, the condensation of water vapor is physical, and N, the digestion of food is chemical change. So go through these answers carefully, students. And your last question is define exothermic and endothermic changes. So I guess book page 13, it's a clear and complete definitions are given in pink boxes. You can write from there. And I guess your revision point number 11 and 12, if you count, you can find out. I guess it's 11 and 12 are there. So write your answers carefully and first read the questions and then, complete your answers. Now let us discuss objective type these exercises. So objective questions are there, and the first one is choose the correct option. Fine. So your first question is like, which of the following is not a reversible change? So I think it's the D one, the burning of LPG. Your next question is, which of the following is a periodic change? So it is A part, that is the change of the phases of the moon. Then third is, during which of the following changes are no new substances formed? So it is sublimation. Fine. Then fourth, in which of the following processes is light absorbed? So fourth, it is C, photosynthesis. Then fifth one is, which of the following is an exothermic change? So I think it is B1, and it is the freezing of water. Then sixth is, which of the following is an endothermic change? So it is the C, the melting of iron. Fine. Now here we are having fill in the blanks. So the first one is, when a solid dissolves in a liquid, the volume of the liquid does not change. Second, it is a chemical change. The third is, vaporization of water is an endothermic change. Then fourth one, it is carbon dioxide and water vapor. Fifth is oxygen and moisture. And sixth one is, I guess, the kinetic energy of molecules increases when a solid melts. Fine. And your next question is true or false. We have to mention for the following statements. The first one is, a physical change is irreversible. So it is false, because a physical change is reversible. Second is again false, because a chemical change is irreversible. The third one is, the mass of a substance undergoing a physical change is not altered. This is true. And fourth one is true. And the fifth one is that heat is evolved when concentrated hydrochloric acid is poured into water. This is true. And the last one is false, because the slaking of lime is a highly exothermic change. Fine, students. So here we have done with your these exercises. So go through them carefully and mark your answers correctly, and just revise the topics also. Fine, students.